How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Ben Grauer speaking from the Grand Ballroom of the Hotel Plaza in New York City. That pleasant buzz of conversation, which is lowered for this moment as we take the air, signals the after-dinner chatter of a distinguished group of personalities of the American theater who are gathered for the 8th annual Antoinette Perry Dinner and presentation in some 16 categories for outstanding contributions in plays and musicals and other activities in the theater and the annual Tony Awards of the American Theater Wing, which initiates, incidentally, the awards season of the Broadway Theatre in this 8th annual renewal of these distinguished bestowals on personalities in the theater for their splendid contributions. And coming, as it does, in the very same week in which Hollywood has chosen its elect for distinguished honors. We're here on the stage of the Grand Ballroom after a very pleasant dinner and entertainment by personalities of the American theater, and I'm happy to be joined in these ceremonies by the lovely lady of American television, herself a member of the board of the American Theater Wing, Miss Faye Emerson.
Thank you, Ben.
The 8th annual Antoinette Perry Awards for Excellence in Broadway Theatre was held at the Plaza Hotel's Grand Ballroom on March 28, 1954. Broadcast on radio by NBC, it was emceed by Ben Grauer and Faye Emerson. The entire post-dinner awards ceremony took 30 minutes. Some of the plays and musicals of note that season were Ondine, Kismet, Can-Can, The Teahouse of the August Moon, and John Murray Anderson's Almanac.
The magic place it is, and that's exactly what our Tony Awards are. And I know that there are some flutterings of hearts tonight from people who are winning their awards. I know that I enjoy giving them. I just think we ought to maybe introduce the lady, and I'd like you to do that, who is kind of the boss of this whole thing.
Well, if ever someone handles with authority, with graciousness and charm and absence of bossism, it is this boss we're going to introduce now. She is the chairman of the board of the American Theater Wing, and it's a very real honor to present to this audience here in the Hotel Plaza, in honor of the Theater Wing as well as our listeners from coast to coast, Mrs. Martin Beck, Louise Beck.
Louise Beck.
But I'm so delighted to welcome you all here. It's wonderful to have this beautiful audience tonight. Everything considering, we all know what I mean. Yes. And also, I think you ought to know, all of you, that the Theater Wing has been carrying all these years with its 3 projects at the moment: the professional training program, its hospital program, and its community plays. And we work constantly, we work very hard all year long, but our big party of the year and our final party is this Tony Award party, which we feel has become of increasing importance, and which we try to do each year to give the members of our own profession an award for what we consider a very distinguished work in the American theater. I hope you all have a good time. Thank you.
Well, Ben, we had to force her up here, but I thought she carried it off very well.
Delightfully, and Louise Beck is now going back to that little portion of the stage alongside with that pile of medallions which are ready to be presented. Maybe just one more little word about the medallions, Faye, before you go into the actual
presentation. If you will, please, Mr. Grauer.
The Tonys are named in honor of Antoinette Perry, distinguished actress and director who was the wartime chairman of the board of the American Theater Wing and secretary of this organization of the entertainment industry. These silver medallions have then come to be called, affectionately in honor of her, of Antoinette Perry, have been called Tonys. There's a pile of them there, some 16, and it's interesting to note that alongside the group of Tonys is the daughter of Antoinette Perry, Elaine Perry herself, to assist me. A hush falls over the audience. The Maya Davis Orchestra itself is stilled. A distinguished group of personalities of the theater awaits the first magic word from our mistress of the evening, Miss Faye Emerson.
Well, it's this way, Ben. Once in a generation, we're lucky if we get a great musical comedy star, and this generation is blessed. We have one who can sing and who can act and has a big and beautiful voice. And I'm talking about a lady who's going to get an award for her distinguished performance in the musical Carnival in Flanders, Dolores Grey. Will you come up, please, Dolores Grey?
Dolores Grey won a Tony for Carnival in Flanders, even though this musical ran for only 6 performances. It's a still standing record for the briefest run by a Tony winner.
Just 3 words, Dolores.
Please speak, Dolores.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I need not mention what a wonderful experience it is and what an honor to receive an award like this. But if I may speak for myself, may I say that I find it particularly thrilling to be remembered for a performance in a show which opened very early in the season and closed very early in the season. No, I'm deeply touched, and I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Ben, I have a feeling that the American theater is going to hear a good deal more about Dolores Grey.
Couldn't be no other beautiful sound in all the world than to hear from Dolores. We're going to move right along now to the next award.
This is an award for a prize-winning play. You're going to hear the name of this play mentioned several times tonight, so don't be surprised if you hear it again. The award for his prize-winning play, The Teahouse of the August Moon, Mr. John Patrick.
I can only say thank you. I can write speeches for other people, but I can't write them for myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Now, I guess there's special focus on this one.
Yes, there is.
Among all the Tonys as we go along, because this is for the Tony for the Distinguished Performance Award in a Dramatic Play by a male star. And focuses on you now, Faye.
Well, I'm pretty happy to give this him because I thought we'd lost him for a while. He went away to the West Coast. This is one of the finest, best talents in the theater, and we need him. And for his distinguished performance in the Teahouse of the August Moon, and thanks for coming back to us, David Wayne.
This was David Wayne's second and final Tony Award. He would appear in numerous films and TV, including starring alongside Paul Muni in the 1959 film The Last Angry Man.
This is a very special award for me. At one time in my early theatrical career, I was about to hitchhike my way back to Michigan, from whence I came. And Tony Perry provided the difference between professional life and death for me. Tonight I am reminiscent and grateful.
Say, Faye, this is kind of a tea season, isn't it?
It certainly is. Tea and sympathy.
And
tea.
didn't Wayne put the old Darjeeling into that speech?
He certainly did. I'm a Lord Grey myself.
Now, besides our award to the Outstanding Dramatic Play, and we've had scrolls to Morris Evans and George Schaefer as producers, the Outstanding Musical Play, Kismet, has received its award, with Tonys to Charles Lederer, Luther Davis, and now the awards to the musical arrangers of Kismet.
And I'm married to a musician, so I know that's pretty important. This award for their musical arrangements for the musical Kismet, Robert Wright and George Forrest.
Well, Faye, have we... No, there's one more, isn't there?
Oh, I think there's one more.
In 16 categories, you've presented 18 Tonys and 3 scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
One more. Outstanding... we presented the Outstanding Dramatic Play, Musical Play, Distinguished Performance, Male Star, Distinguished Musical Performance, Female Star.
You're killing me.
What could it be? Well, yeah. Let's see. Oh, there is, yes.
Oh, yes.
Distinguished Performance, Dramatic Play. That's a play without music, Female Star.
That's right, Ben. And this was an awfully difficult one this year. As you know, all of you who went to the theater, there were so many beautiful performances. But as I said before about musical comedy stars, there once in a great while comes over the horizon a great, great star. And we've got one. And all we have to say simply is for a distinguished performance in the title role of Ondine, Audrey Hepburn.
1954 was a banner year for the 25-year-old Audrey Hepburn. 3 days earlier, she won a Best Actress Oscar for her starring role in Roman Holiday. She'd also won a Golden Globe for the same film. In September, Sabrina would premiere, for which she was again Oscar-nominated the following year.
In the last act of the play, Ondine has to leave this world and go back to the water. Before she leaves, she throws many of her precious and dearest possessions into the water so that she may swim among them forever. Tomorrow this award will be floating in the water.
Audrey. I'm not going to let you go just for a minute because it's been a kind of big week already for you, Audrey. But then it's been a big year, hasn't it? But the thing that I love so much about Audrey Hepburn is that she plans for the next few years to be bigger because she's devoted and dedicated to her work. At least that's what you told me. Yes. And we're very proud and happy for you, and we expect to see even greater things from you, Audrey, if that's possible.
Thank you, Faye.
Ben, don't you have something to say to this pretty lady?
Why, I have just ooh, you know. And other colorful and thrilling phrases. I remember about 3 months ago, Audrey, we were up the upper floor at Sardi's.
That's right.
For the Film Critics Award, remember? You were there with other members of the theater, and you were just starting out for, was it tryout in Boston? When did Ondine?
That's right, yes. Just before we left for Boston.
And you were quite hopeful about it, and I said, it's wonderful, a little girl like you with a 24-inch waist, and you slapped me, you said, what do you mean, 20 inches?
That's right.
That's right?
It's very unkind of you to mention it in front of me.
Audrey, I seen you Thursday night.
You are?
That, you know, that other award.
Oh, you did?
Yes. This is very pretty, isn't it, this one?
It's beautiful.
Fine.
Just lovely.
Well, we're proud and happy for you, Audrey, and we're going to see you again here at this same kind of dinner year after year after year, and I expect that you won't always go away empty-handed. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you very much.